Hey, girl. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. You guys, hello. We do have some viewers already.
Hey, guys.
This episode, Leah. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I saw the intro and I'm like, this is going to be so fun. So thanks everyone for who's here. And this is really, I'm really excited. Are you excited?
I am super excited. It's really nice to be able to do something beyond just going live and painting. Like, let's chat. Let's develop a rapport and a relationship with our community, with each other, right?
Right. Oh yeah. It's definitely like, I love painting, but you don't get the same kind of,
not at all.
You don't get the same kind of relationship when you have a brush in your hand. Like I'm excited to be able to be focused and able to just kind of talk about the things that we don't talk about when we have a brush in our hand. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Okay. Well, with that said, you guys, welcome to Beyond the Brush Live.
Brush. Yay.
There we go.
Yay. Look at that. How cool.
We are in our first episode.
Yes.
So we're very excited. We're very excited to kick off the show and really just spend this time with you and have a topic. You know, I think that we should probably discuss before we get into what we're going to be talking about today, which is new beginnings. Check us out.
New beginnings.
New beginnings. And it's perfect.
And it's a perfect time because it's like spring and it's the day after Easter and I feel refreshed. I am so ready to start something new.
Yeah, same here. So let's do the official introduction. Yes, you guys. Hi. Welcome to Beyond the Brush Live with Bianca and Leah. I think we should talk about our mission. What's our mission, Leah?
Well, our mission is just, I feel like our mission is just to put the brushes down and bring up some of the topics and some of the things that make our businesses successful besides painting, and to really share that with our audiences and get your feedback and hear about other women and men in the industry who their stories about how, you know, they've been successful beyond the brush, literally like beyond the brush, like the brush, like we can paint something, but there's a whole lot more that goes into just painting or creating. There's so much more to it. So our mission is really to bring light to those corners.
Absolutely.
How do you feel? What do you feel our mission is?
I feel, first of all, yes, absolutely. Everything you said, yes. Ditto. You know, and also to, you know, more than just discussing, and I know that you agree with me on this, we want to get to know everybody. We want to form a community. The industry of furniture artistry is on the younger side. It's not like an industry that's been around for 50, 60 years, at least not in this organized capacity to where it really has an identity, a flow, you know, and a layout as far as like how things go and what goes on. So I think that this is a really nice opportunity to perhaps, you know, just join forces, join everybody in the community. We talk, we kind of define what it is that we're doing and where we're going, and we do it with each other because, as we know, there are strength in numbers.
There sure is. Oh yeah. And it's nice just to get the feedback from other people in the industry, because a lot of times nowadays we're working alone. We're working, you know, like this whole pandemic happened and I'm like, my business hasn't changed. I'm still just as lonely as I have been. Like I'm working in my garage and I'm not at work able to bounce ideas, you know, about projects or industry standards off of people at work. So coming together as a community online it's really the way of the future.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. Yes. New beginning.
Yes. New beginning.
You go first. Talk about where you started. What got you to where you are now? How did Leah Noell Design Co. You know, get its mark? Tell us.
All right. I will tell you guys. So I'm going to start here. In 2017, it was a new year. My oldest stepdaughter was graduating high school, and I was working as an executive assistant for a medical consulting firm. And I was doing a lot of like the legwork. I was managing a lot of the business. And I was good at it, but I didn't love doing it. I don't like sitting in front of a computer. So my husband and I told him, I said, I want to start a business. I'm like, I don't even care what it is. I want to start a business. So he goes, all right, well, let's do canoe rentals. He's like, let's rent canoes out to people on the weekends. And I'm like, right, sure. So I went and I registered with my state and I set up an LLC for a canoe rental business. It was going to be called Region River Rentals. And we were going through and we were like getting permissions for the lakes that we were going to take our canoes on. And like once it hit spring, I was like, I do not want to do this. Like hauling canoes and paddling up rivers. I'm like, this is your dream. It's not mine. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, you could do this when you retire, but I don't want to do this. So my friend Beth and I had started doing, we had started just painting furniture as a hobby. And so we started painting furniture in August after my daughter's graduation party. 2017 was an interesting year. I won't get into all of it, but basically my friend Beth and I started painting furniture, and I told her she really wanted to do it as a hobby. And I'm like, well, I think this is the business I've been like dreaming of. This is the business I want to do. And so I kind of took it from there and I set up a Facebook page, and I started a furniture painting business. So my motivation was really, I want a business. Oh, I can paint something and I can sell it. And it went in that order for me. Was more like, I want a business. I want something where I can work from home. I can own it. I can do it online. I don't have to own a store. I don't have to own a booth, and I can just go from there. Which is interesting, because I wonder, did you start from, and a lot of you guys too, did you start from like, I painted furniture and then I thought, oh, I could make it a business? Or did you want a business and then start painting furniture? How did that work for you?
Yeah, we want to know. You guys respond in the comments. Again, this is a community effort. It's not just me and Leah. So she wants to know, how did you start? And I'm actually kind of in awe of your story. That's not how I started.
No?
No, I didn't start with wanting a business. I had a business. What I started with was just wanting something to do, something that brought me, I guess, just joy and a safe place to just create and have an outlet. So I find that really interesting that you came into this like, I want a business. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning, you knew exactly what you wanted.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
I love that.
And that's key. Now, what kind of business did you have before you started, before like furniture became a business for you?
I was a photographer, a wedding photographer.
Okay.
Right. And so when I first got into photography, it was about the art, which gradually became, about making money, which was weddings and portraits, which burned me out. So that's, pretty much how I started in the furniture art industry. But we'll get into my Genesis story in a sec. Let's answer some of the questions. Here we go.
Oh, hi, Deb. Okay.
I think a lot of people started that way, Deb. I'm just painting my own furniture to decorate my house.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it started for me too. I had, a little piece of something that I painted. So yeah, I think that she's spot on.
I think a lot of people start like that.
Becky. Oh, no, wait, that's not Becky. Somebody said there's a tornado watch. Stay safe, Jane.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So Becky paints just for fun, which I think is great. Again, that creative outlet, that healthy outlet, right?
Yeah.
Here's one. Go ahead and field that one for Lisa Casey.
You want me to answer this?
I do.
So does everyone have a business license? Do we need one? So my biggest thing is, if I'm going to have a business and I want to make money in my business, I'm going to treat it like a business. I'm going to register my business. I'm going to talk to an accountant, and I'm going to do it the right way, because my feelings are, if I want to be a legit business and I want to be a respected business owner, I need to have those types of things in place. So and I'll be completely honest. It was funny because I did set up, when I was going to do the canoe rental business, I set it up legit and then decided not to do it. So then when I started my furniture painting business, I waited 6 months and then I set it up as an S corporation. So there's a lot of different ways that you can set up your business, and you have to talk to an accountant and decide what is best for you. But I really feel like if you want a business, you have to have a business, and to have a business, you have to register with your state and you have to do it legally.
Yeah, I think that that's the key term there, right? Legally.
Yes.
You know, I didn't actually have an LLC at the end of my name for the longest. And then I started to realize, okay, this is taking off. Oh my gosh, I made too much money. Let me set this up, because I didn't know in the beginning where it was going to go and how, I didn't know. And so, I did that last year.
Did
you know, when I started especially when I started selling nationwide.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it became really important.
Right.
So let's see. Paige, thank you.
Thank you,
Paige, you're both inspiring. Thanks for sharing your talents and knowledge. You're welcome, Paige.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I will kind of tackle my Genesis story a bit opposite from you.
Okay.
As far as, I didn't set up the business. I didn't go into this wanting a business. Like I said, I already had a business. I was doing photography and kind of just doing this on small things in my home on the side. And then I started to realize, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody would want some of my furniture, some of my work. And so I started off with like small pieces. And I got to tell you, and I think that this is important, I was doing it from my kitchen.
Yes.
And the reason I think that is important is because you guys, like, don't be, I know that like so many people will comment on my workspace here, like, wow, it's so organized. And this took years. I was doing it right in my kitchen to the point where, like, don't even come in here, cook dinner, grab something and put it in the microwave and get out. I'm working.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yes. And anyway, so hopefully that little bit of information inspires you guys, so I really went from there. I started to get better. People started to take notice of what I was doing. I started to get inquiries about, hey, can I buy that piece? And I started to get a lot of accolades and affirmations from people, which that's my love language, is affirmations. Yeah. So, just so you guys know, a good job goes a long way with me. And I think with all of that, it just kind of took off. What I noticed started happening, because at the same time, I still had that photography business. I couldn't do both. I couldn't give 100% here and 100% there. So after a couple of years of just kind of tinkering about, I realized I'm going to be serious about this. I'm going to really dive in, really focus on it, and dissolve my photography business. And I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah, because you can't have, it's hard to have, foot in both places and really be good at one. Like, sometimes you just have to let go of one business in order to focus on the other. But I feel like they always build upon each other. Mm-hmm. Like your photography skills are showing up so strongly in your furniture painting business.
Right. Thank goodness for that.
What's that?
Thank goodness for that background.
Yes. So I always feel like, even though sometimes I feel like somebody may need to hear this, like sometimes that I've always felt that the businesses that we're in now may not be the business we're in 10 years from now, but it's so important to continue to build those skills and have those in order to build those skills and just keep building your audience and keep building your brand. And then you can move into something else. Yeah. You may not be a furniture painter forever. You may not be a photographer forever. You may not be a medical assistant forever. But with the skills and everything you learned, they build into the brand that you are today. And so there's never time. I don't feel like there's ever time wasted. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think it's all part of the journey, just what you're saying is it's all part of the journey, whether it be from career to even just down to piece to piece. It's all part of the journey, and we pick up things and we learn things and take them with us as we move forward, no matter what it is that we're doing.
And we're always moving forward, right?
I love that. Yes, absolutely. We absolutely are. So Diana. So Diana says she's still doing it for therapy. I've never tried to sell, but may need to start selling for extra income while I take a leave of absence from being a city transit driver. Still scared to show my work, so I have a long way to go. Yeah, Diana, first of all, I think that's great. If that's where you're at, if it being your therapy is where you're at, there's no rush. Enjoy it. Use it, especially now with everything that's going on in the world. Be in that space, that safe place, as long as you can, as long as you need. But if it is fear that's holding you back, that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other episode. Hey, that's a topic idea. We're going to write that one down.
Yes,
Right.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think doing it for therapy when I always laugh when people are like, well, I'm just getting started. What should I do? And I'm like, paint the furniture in your own home, because what's going to happen is people are going to be asking you for customs and furniture, and you're never going to paint the stuff in your own house. You're not going to have time. So take time to really like enjoy it and build that portfolio with the furniture in your own home.
Yes.
And use it as a therapy and see if it's something you even want to do. I mean, how many times I've had friends who are like, they're like, oh, I'm going to paint something. And then they go do it. And they're like, this is miserable. Like, how do you do this all day? And it's a personality type. Like some people want it for a business, and then other people, it's just their therapy. And I mean, I almost feel like, it'll come naturally if it's supposed to be a business for you. But if it's a therapy, by all means, like that, I think more than the ladder of success or how much money we make or anything, our mental health is so important. So if it's a therapy for you and it's working for you, keep it that way.
I totally agree. So Gina says, how do you keep yourself focused on your work when you work from home?
I love this question.
Well, then by all means, you go.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, I have the opposite problem. I can't focus on home stuff because I'm always working, because I love my job so much. I'm always working. And my husband and kids will be like, Mom, you can stop working. It's okay. And I'm like, no, like I'm having fun. This is how I have fun. It is really difficult to find that separation.
Mm-hmm.
It is very difficult. And sometimes one of the things that I do, and I'd love to hear what you guys do, because I'm always interested in how other people handle that. One of the things I do is I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I will set it down and just forget that I have a phone, because that is my biggest distraction. So that's sometimes how I keep myself focused. How do you keep yourself focused?
Well, I'm right there with you. I have a really hard time pulling away from what it is that I'm doing. Once I'm in the zone, like, don't talk to me, don't ask me for anything, go away. It is such a good thing that I don't have tiny children.
Yes.
That really helps. I don't know how they'd probably just be hungry. Like, I don't know. A 1-year-old, go make a sandwich.
Yes.
But yeah, it's really easy for me. That's hard for me to answer. So I really think that maybe, I think that the viewers, you guys might have a better answer for Gina.
Yes.
Yeah, like for those that have that struggle with keeping a focus on your work when you're working from home, I think it also depends on what you're doing.
Right.
I think if I were working from home for, some 9 to 5 right now, I might have a hard time being focused. But I love what I do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Loving what you do is important. And then I also think that I don't love to do, like the office work I do in the morning. I do it before noon, and then I'm done. And then I go paint or do whatever else I want to do. But I section that time off where it's like, I'm only doing 2 hours of office work a day.
Yeah.
Because if I do more than that, it's going to get sloppy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want me to read this one?
Go ahead, please do.
I gotta put my glasses on though. Okay, how do you assign a proper workspace and keep other family members out? I have extended family with me. A peanut gallery. So frustrated, I have stopped painting and sad about it. I was great at it. Oh, you know what? I know you worked in your kitchen. I've worked in my living room. It is a challenge. Don't you feel it's a big challenge?
It was at the time, yeah.
Like, I can feel your question in my heart, because I worked in my living room and I work in my garage now, and my kids, they still come in and out. So it's really, it is a challenge of having that proper workspace.
I think that one thing to note, wasn't it Amazon? Amazon started in a garage.
Yeah.
If that doesn't inspire, I don't know what does. I know that, because my next step has been, I really want a warehouse. I've outgrown my garage. I want somewhere where I can go to work. And I'm so glad that I'm in my garage now in the times that we're in. But, this won't last forever. But, I felt when I learned that about Amazon, it really inspired me. And it made me think, you know what? It's okay. It's okay if what I have is my garage. It's okay if what you have is your living room or your kitchen. I know that it's hard when you have people, I think, like running in and out and in your zone. I don't know. I guess every family dynamic is different. For me, I just had to set a boundary, like this is what's expected of you. My daughter, who's 16 now, was younger at the time when I first started. And, you're not going to come in here and make a mess. And, this is my time that I've allotted for myself and for my craft and what I'm doing. And that seemed to work out well. Yeah. But I'm sad that you stopped, Rachel. She said that she's frustrated and she stopped painting, and she said she was great at it. I think that I'm officially going to give you permission to pick that brush back up again.
Yes. Rachel's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rachel, you've been in our community for a long time. And I mean, you just, sometimes it's, for each family, it's different.
Yeah.
For me, when I started, I was in my garage, and then my husband kept saying, when I'm parking my truck in the garage when it's wintertime, and I would say, okay. And then winter came and I started making some money, and he's like, okay, you can store your furniture in here. And then I moved into my living room. So for me, it was that slow progression of showing my family that I can do this and I can make an income. And then they let me kind of have my own space. But it also depends on if you have small children or not. And sometimes with small children, like my daughter's 9, and a lot of times I'll buy her a piece of furniture that she can do. And that seems to do. Just things that you can, being creative in how you're going to handle those relationships with your family. And, asking them permission to have some space in your home, even if it is your living room or your kitchen.
Well, and I also live by the code, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So if what I ask you for an hour or two, then you need to respect that or suffer my wrath.
That's good. That's good.
So here's one. Cheri, how did you both start out painting and selling furniture? I think that we covered how we started it. For me, it was just simply, to recap, just wanting something creative to do, and started painting my own furniture in my own home. And then it blossomed from there. And then from Leah, you said that it was just, you wanted a business. That's, you want out of the corporate world and have your own business. And it organically grew into the business that you have now, Leah Design Co. So that's how we started. I think the selling furniture, that's a different animal, because you can start out painting, but to actually put yourself out in the world and take, that takes courage and bravery to start actually putting yourself out there to sell the furniture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is. It's very vulnerable, right?
It is. And I think one of the things I've learned in business is like, you just accept a lot of no's. And sometimes it's in the form of putting something on Marketplace for 2 weeks, 2 months, and getting no comments, nothing on it. And it's vulnerable, but it's almost like counting your no's, or counting, just how you just keep doing it over and over and over again, and see, and until it works. When you're putting it out there to sell, I feel like you're going to get those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, nobody said anything. Nobody wants my furniture. Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of continuously putting it out when you first start. Like a lot of times people aren't going to take you seriously until you have consistency with it. And that takes time.
It really does. I do notice that, like, for example, when I first started selling furniture, the very first thing that I sold was a coffee table, and I was so proud. I bought it for $7 and sold it for $30, and I was I was over the moon about this $30, and there were this $23 profit. Oh my gosh!
What kind of paint did you use on it?
Okay, that's a great question. I went to Michael's and got some type of chalk paint. I don't even know.
Okay.
But that's what everybody was doing, chalk paint, I guess. That was kind of what was supposed to make it easier. And I did. I went and I got some chalk paint, and I slapped it on that table. And there's an implication in there that I just got the chalk paint and slapped it on the table. Nothing happened in between.
Oh, wow.
No anything. Yeah, I didn't know, we all start somewhere. I don't feel bad about it. I sold it for $30,
Right.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't even remember where we're going with that. This is really kind of nostalgic and fun, taking it back to the Genesis.
Yes. Yeah. So what was your first piece that you can you remember your first piece that you actually properly cleaned and prepped and sold for and you were like, okay, mama's in business now. Can you remember that first piece?
I can, and it was.
And if you guys watching too, if you guys remember, post a picture of that first piece for us, if you would, in the comments too. But I want to hear.
I would love to see it. We would love to see it. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a buffet, and I think I sold it for like around $400.
Okay.
And it was just, I put some. I had two. It was like gray and taupe. I love that color combination, and it had some like Moroccan trellis on the front. And I think I sold it for around $400, and that's when I was like, okay, I think that we can start, focusing on doing this more and actually, using it to supplement my income,
Right.
Yep.
Right.
What about you?
That's a great moment. The one that comes to mind was a buffet, and I had painted other pieces and sold them, but the first piece that was like, oh, I might be good at this was it was my cover photo forever. It was a buffet and it was broken. And my husband was like, what did you I spent $95 on it. And he's like, you bought yourself a workbench, hon? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I did. And I was practicing on it, and it had a big chunk of trim missing. And I painted it, I photographed it, I posted it, and I posted it for like $320, like nothing, because it missed a bit. It was missing a big piece of trim, right? And I was very insecure about it, and I probably had 30 people try to buy it. And
wow.
I had other furniture painters in the area message me and like, hey, you really should raise your price. And I'm like, okay. And my friend from grade school actually bought it, and she still has it. And it's still, in her living room. And I'm glad that she has it. But it was just that moment where it was like, people want what I got. And it was exciting. And then from there, I was able to start realizing that you don't just buy, you don't buy workbenches, you don't buy pieces of junk, you buy really good quality furniture, and you pay a little bit more for them, because to me, selling the quality of the furniture is as important as the finish of the furniture. Yeah. And I know that's really, I feel like I do know that that's how you work too, because that's really what sets us, that's really what sets a business apart, is when you're really producing a quality piece from the inside out.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the turning point where I'm like, okay, hon, because my husband does a lot of my shopping. I'm like, we need to buy really high quality pieces.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that makes all the difference. I know that that actually kind of segues into Christina's question, she wants to know, how do you get more traffic to your page and get noticed? I think that's definitely one way.
Yes.
Which is not buying, as you said, workbenches, but high quality pieces of furniture. That's definitely something. In the beginning, I can say myself, when I first got into, okay, I'm going to actually start selling. I'm going to do this, And I started joining like every group that I could, whether it be like buy sells and paint communities, et cetera, et cetera. And that definitely helped. Your following is substantially bigger than mine. So you answer the question.
How do you
I'll sit back with the viewers and take notes.
Oh goodness. Well, you have a big following too. The thing is, I think I don't feel that. I mean, I have a decent following on my page, but for me, it's been more about that engagement. Like when I post something, like I posted on our More last night, and I have 150 people that respond to that with words. They take the time to stop and type. I always want to hear from my audience. I want your feedback. If like one of the things I've learned is that you can have a page. Have you ever gone to somebody's page and they have 1 million followers and 2 people liked their last photo? I don't want that. I would rather have, I'd rather have a smaller following and just people that are engaged. So it's just about building community and serving your audience. And that's what it's all about. It's just serving your audience to get noticed. The example that really comes to my mind and my heart right now is I always thought going live, I did a lot of lives. I mean, that was a big thing. I started my Facebook business page and within an hour I did my first live. So,
wow.
Yeah, because I knew that's what I had to do. And what I learned with those lives is I always thought I had to do these big, advanced, layered, blending finishes. And I wasn't getting a lot of like interaction. And then I started doing this. I started going, you know what, today, you guys, I'm going to show you how to paint a smooth metallic finish. And I would get more views and I would get more questions. And so, it's what I thought my audience wanted to see. They really didn't care to see it. And then when I started listening to them and like noticing that they didn't want these big advanced finishes, they just want to know how to paint something one color. And I started doing that. Then I started noticing things would build. So it's really just listening to your audience and giving them what they want, giving you guys what you want. I mean, I always welcome questions and feedback. And I know even with this show, we have an email where you can submit your questions because that is the goal. That is Bianca and myself. That's our goal here. And that's been my mission, is just serving the audience that I have. You guys show up for me and I need to show up for you in the way that you want me to show up, which right now has been pointing to, you guys want to hear a little bit more about the industry other than just painting. So here we are. So that's how I think you really gain a following, is by listening to your followers. And that's how you get noticed, is you really care about what they want and you don't just care about what you want.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a give and a take. There's a balance there, and beyond that, I would say branch out too, start building relationships, join some of the groups, that, for example, are not necessarily about like, a paint brand. I mean, that's all good and well, but, maybe some of the groups that are more about the community, and engage with that, start asking questions, start commenting, get to know other people, follow other pages. I think that helps too, rather than just kind of sitting back and waiting for, the following to come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And how long have you had your page, Bianca? I'm curious.
So my page, I feel like maybe 2 years. It's weird. I had it and then Facebook, I don't know what it did, but it stopped working. So then I built a group up. And then all of a sudden the group started having issues. So then I went back to my page. So actually if I hadn't taken that like year in between, I think that my page would actually be a little bit further along as far as what my goals are.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would say maybe like 2 years, like consistently posting on that page and, and not jumping back and forth. So.
Hi, Dion.
Hopefully that answers your question, Christina. Hello, Dion. That's turquoise iris, by the way. You guys, we love her.
Yes, we do.
Hi, Judy. Hello. Okay, that's good. Lisa Boston. I get frustrated because it's not immediate getting my name out there. No, it's not. You're not. This business is not about instant gratification. You really have to like sit down and have a conversation with yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to take it day by day and step by step. And, just see what works, see what doesn't, absorb every bit of information that I can along the way and go from there.
Right. And it's never one thing. It's never one thing.
No.
But if I can narrow it down to one thing, it's listening to your audience. Like that's.
Yeah, I think that's really wise. And thank you for sharing that. That's huge. I know for me, I'll share something a little bit more on the personal side with you guys. When I first became a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle, I had something like 3,500 followers. And the expectation is that you're supposed to have more if you're going to be a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle. You're supposed to have more. And I even said that to them. You want me? I don't have a big following. They're like, but we see the value in what you do. Yes, we want you. So I feel like it's been a race. I've been frustrated. I'm right there with you, Lisa. Where's my 10K followers, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to literally sit down and be like, you know what? They'll come. What I have right now is quality and not quantity. And that's exactly what you were talking about.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. So don't get frustrated, Lisa. It's all part of the game. It's all part of the journey.
And I'm going to tell you what, when you get to that point, there's going to be another frustration where you're like, how do I do this now? You know, so you just got to enjoy the journey and enjoy it, you know, and it's funny because sometimes I look back even on the beginning when I was just painting all day and I posted on Facebook 4 times a day when I first started. And I look back and I don't know if you do this too. And I'm like, gosh, it was so fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Yeah. This is Bianca. She is fantastic with technology. You
Uh-huh.
are so good at this.
I'm learning along the way. Oh, 2 cats. I'm alone and love it. I have 2 cats.
Kitty prints everywhere. Yeah. Okay. Here's the question. All of you guys who have dogs and cats, how do you paint inside your house? Like, doesn't the fur get on your paint? Like, I would be afraid of that. I don't have any animals, so I can't answer, but I always wondered, how do you paint without your cat jumping on your freshly polyed top?
Oh.
Could you imagine that? Like you just totally, you gator hided the top of a piece of furniture. It's all clean. And then here comes a cat. Pounces on it.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Luckily I have a garage. When I didn't have a garage in my other house that I lived in, so I've since moved and expanded for the sake of his business, I had a Great Dane at the time, not a cat. And so he was too big to jump on top of anything. Thank goodness. But he was still not allowed in my workspace.
Okay.
So the kitchen, you know.
Because they will shed. They'll shed. And
yeah. Yeah, especially right now. My cat that I have now, he sheds like crazy, but he doesn't come in here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Questions of animals. I have chickens in my workspace right now, so they stay in their little hutch.
Oh, that's the sweetest thing. I bet that's just like the best. Like chirp, chirp, chirp in the background. You know?
Yeah.
Tra-la-la, you know.
Hey, Rachel. Oh, I'm glad. Rachel says, thank you. I felt your heart response. I did not know that from Amazon. Thank you for your inspiration. Oh, you're welcome. And
yes.
There's so many businesses that started in a garage, you know? There really are. There's a lot.
There really is. Yeah. I mean, we're one of them. Okay. Yeah. Here's Deb. How do you price your furniture? That's a really good question, Deb. I think that question is it's gonna vary. You're gonna get different answers depending on who it is that you're talking to, because you know, my prices over time has gone from, you know, $30 for a coffee table
yeah,
to, you know, I just sold a buffet 2 days ago for $1,200, you know. I think for me, to kind of keep this question as simple as, or the answer to this question as simple as possible, there are factors that I put into like how I price my furniture. You know, what did I pay for the piece of furniture to begin with? How intricate is the architecture of the furniture? So if it's like super ornate and has like a lot of filigree and detail and curves and all of that, that's going to take a lot more time. It's going to have something to do with the amount of product that I'm using on it. Obviously, I'm not going to charge the same for a coffee table as I am a huge armoire. And then, of course, you know, time and labor. So once all of those things, I factor those in. I also look to see what the market value is. So one thing that you can do is start to look at other people and what they're charging, what they're asking for their work, you know, especially if you have a unique piece of furniture and you're not even sure. I did a canvas the other day. I'm like, I have no idea how to price a canvas. I had to reach out to other canvas artists and just, you know, my whole thought was, look, I don't need to make big bucks like you. I just want to be comfortable with what I'm asking, but also, you know, I'm new. So I just, you know, want to make something for my efforts, but I also don't need to be top of the line right now either, you know?
Right. I think it's personal. I think it's personal.
I do too. So hopefully, Deb, those, bits of information as far as that, that I think that's just kind of basic what people think about. Hopefully that helps. But I think it's very personal. I have a hard time when people ask me like, hey, how much should I charge for this? Because it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it took to get you from point A to point B. I don't know also some things like, did you prep it? Did you seal it? I don't know the answers to those,
Yeah.
So it's kind of uncomfortable for me. So it's personal.
A lot of times I just message my sister, Taylor, how much would you pay for this? And then I'll message my friend Anissa, and I'll say, Anissa, what should I price this at? And then usually I can come up with, and then I have a number in my head, and usually it will help me determine if that's the right number or not. So I just have a couple of people what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too, actually. My husband, oh my gosh, in the beginning, he'd be like, $50. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And now he's like, I think at minimum 2,500. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know. Mine does that too. He's like, you're gonna get so much money for that, and I'm like, I'm gonna price it to move it because it's gotta get out of here. It's gotta go.
I love it. So Lisa's having problems starting live. She's nervous.
Just jump in and do it. We're all nervous.
Yep. We were nervous today about this.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
We've done how many lives in the course of our lives, in the course of our businesses. And yeah, I mean, even just this, we were nervous, but you gotta just do it.
Yeah, it is. That's all it is. It's just
do
it. And you'll be nervous the first time, the second time, the third time, but you'll do it and it'll get better.
Yeah, it will. Rachel, what kind of courses do you recommend and why? You're going to have to elaborate, Rachel.
Are there particular pieces to choose? Okay, wait, sorry. I cannot see. Okay,
girl, put those glasses on. Those are fabulous. We love to see it.
If I eat too much sugar, which I did today, I ate some Easter candy, I can't see anything. Are there particular pieces to choose to start painting as you learn, or just go big or go home? Lisa, I say you should paint whatever you get your hands on. I mean, paint something you like. And then, what I found is, sorry, I'm going to take this question.
Go girl.
There's going to be things that you don't want to paint. So just start painting everything that like, okay, a dresser here, a buffet there, an armoire there, a table there. And then you're going to be like, I don't like painting tables, so I'm not painting tables anymore. How do you feel about that, Bianca? Like, is there certain items you don't paint?
Yeah, kitchen tables.
Yes.
They're awful. I don't paint a lot of hutches. They're a lot of work.
Yeah.
Or items with glass. I feel like the whole time I'm working with it, this is me. Mm-hmm. And I did probably almost 2 years ago now, a mid-century modern hutch, and it was gorgeous and like real deal MCM, but it had that bubble glass. You know what I'm talking about, where the glass kind of protrudes and has like a shape. And it had 3 doors, and each door I want to say had like 8 panes of this glass. And it was a customer's. And I'm just like, if he breaks this glass, if anything happens, like, how am I going to replace this glass? Now I stay away from glass.
I do too.
Anxiety.
I painted a hutch for my daughter because she wanted one for her house. And other than that, nope, I don't do glass. Kitchen tables. Yeah. And I only do resin coffee tables. Like,
I don't really do those either. They're hard to store.
And I don't do anything that's like, I try to stay away from particle board, but sometimes sometimes Bombay chest will get me.
Yeah.
That's not the only one I'm like, okay, I'll make an exception here.
Yeah, I picked one up that was like, it was quality made MDF. I mean, it was good. It was solid. Yeah. It was MDF. And I was just like, but I don't normally buy MDF or particle board, but it was so pretty. And I saw that it had that potential. So I made an exception there. But for the most part, I stick to wood. Oh, thanks, Chastity. Jumping Jones. Yes. Judy wants to know, do we like showing before and after photos? Sometimes.
Sometimes I'm not indifferent to it.
Yeah, sometimes I do. I think it just depends. I didn't show the before on another a piece I did recently because I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear, why did you paint that? I didn't want to hear it, so I didn't even go there.
Oh my gosh. I get whenever I post, I will post like befores when I pick them up, and I laugh with my husband. I'm like, there's gonna be 5. Do not paint this. Do not paint this. And I'm like, and I'm not comment back. Oh, I'm painting it. I'm painting.
Yeah, exactly.
I just laugh about it. I'm like, people are gonna say, don't paint. So I hear you there.
Oh boy. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything else that's pressing. We are about 47 minutes in. I think that's good. Yeah, Lisa, I think that I was definitely scared to do my first live. I remember I sweat when I'm nervous, and I was covered in sweat, so I'm literally there with a handkerchief, just getting in there and stuttering my words and all of that. It was great. I really appreciate that time. How about you? Were you scared on your first?
You know what? I like doing live video because I don't have to edit them. So live video for me I like it. And when I first started, there was nobody on my page. So I just did it. Like, I launched my page and I did a live. So there was nobody on there. And so I just did it. And then afterwards, whenever I do a live, I feel accomplished. So I just continue to do them. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's necessary. I don't feel like I feel like you and I both don't own a store. So doing lives is how we get people to know us.
Yeah.
And how we build relationships with people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's one for you. That's
Thank
a love note to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, I love it. Here's a love note to me from Diana. Her favorite is still my brush metal cabinet. Thank you. That was one of those ones that I think put me on the map.
That one was just amazing. All your work. I mean, the things that you come up with, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, you are very, very talented.
Well, thank you. But the same to you. That armoire that you just did. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my husband's. And to tell you guys the truth, he didn't like it. Last week it was metallic, and he's like, Leah, this is really girly. And I'm like, yeah, because it's going in my room. Just on your side. And so I toned it down for him, and I still don't know if he likes it. I think he's just accepting it at this point. Because it's very girly.
Yep. Well, again, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Yeah, exactly. There's another topic for you. Do you ever feel like I paint a lot more feminine pieces than masculine?
Yeah.
Like it's a hard balance.
Yeah, I tend to, if I had my way, all my stuff would be on the more masculine side, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You prefer the masculine?
I do.
Pieces?
I do.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say that I don't. I'm somewhere in the middle, actually, because I'll see other people will do something super soft and femme, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful and so romantic. And I like go into a journey in my brain, like I'm in a forest and the birds are chirping and the deer are dancing around me. Like, it's crazy in here. But in my own artwork, yeah, I tend to go toward the darker colors, more masculine vibe with a slight feminine edge. Like, I always tell my husband, whenever I decide to redecorate my home, it's probably going to be super industrial, lots of metal, pipes, maybe some brick, and just grungy with like a beautiful ornate crystal chandelier in the middle of all of it.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. But all your pieces are, you really, I think you have a talent where you're able to encompass the personality of the piece and really make it its own, like that industrial cabinet that you did. It was really like, once I saw it that way, I couldn't imagine it any other way. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's pieces like that where you're like, wow, you really took the character of the piece and created something on top of it and just like brought it all together. And that piece was just amazing. It was amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It took forever to sell, and that's something too, I'll just put out there. That took absolutely forever. I was like, what is going on? Why hasn't it sold? And I think that we need to remember that it does take the right person. So somebody can love it, but are they going to redecorate a room around it?
Right.
Or does it work with their style? Or, so if that happens, you guys, like, don't get discouraged.
No.
Sometimes it takes, especially the more like artistically involved, I think it really just takes the right person sometimes. So, and that's part of the game too. So that kind of goes back to some of our way previous questions, but yeah, don't get discouraged. So, cool. Rachel loves metallics. I think that, hi, Amy. Amy's one of our teamies. Brand ambassadors. I always love to see when she's on here. She's so supportive. Amy, you rock. Isn't she?
Amy is always streamed. Like she's always on my lives. She always says something fantastic.
Yes. Well, you guys, I think that we can pretty much wrap up here. I think that's pretty good. I think that we did a good thing here.
I think this was fun. Yeah, this is fun. Great. And I just want to make sure they know there is an email that you guys, if you guys have a topic you want us to talk about, we're going to come live every Monday, I believe, right? Monday afternoon.
Yeah, Mondays at 12 o'clock Central and then 10 o'clock. I'm Mountain Standard.
Okay, so it's 10 a.m. Well, it's 11 a.m. for you right now, right?
Yes, it's almost 11.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to come back on Mondays. And if you guys have any topics you want us to discuss, please send us an email and we can discuss it next Monday when we come live again.
Cool. I just put the email in the comments.
Okay.
Perfect. And then it's also in the description. So yeah, let us know if there's something you want us to tackle. That's why we're here.
Yeah, we're excited. We're really excited. I'm really excited for this journey. I know you are too. And we're excited to hear your feedback and just hear what's important to you guys and what you guys want to hear and from us and from each other. So thank you guys for being here. Yes,
thank you guys so much. So we'll be back next week.
All right.
I think it's official. I think we're good here. Thank you guys for joining, for being engaged. All the comments and everything, like, we're here for it. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.